guys, I am at the Phoenix Makeup Collective studio today. I am going to be creating a holiday makeup look for you guys. We are having our holiday party tonight at our new studio, and so I thought it would be fun to showcase a few things that I haven't shown on my channel yet. And it's been a while since I filmed a YouTube video, so I'm super excited to do this look. It's going to be a little bit more of like a really copper bright eye with some really fun kind of fluffy big lashes and a really smoked out bottom. And then I'm going to do a really dark lip. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of the Melt Cosmetics Poser. I'm gonna do that liquid lipstick. And then I am gonna use a little bit of the MOTA lipstick. If you guys haven't seen that one yet, it's like a blue. It's really, really pretty. So I'm definitely going for a little bit more of like a dark kind of fun lip, but something that's a little bit different. I want it to be blue. I don't want it to be like a dark red or a purple or anything like that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you enjoy the video. What I love about the e.l.f. eye primer is that it's a much thinner consistency, so it's very easy to blend out and a little bit goes a long way. I also love that it's light and bright, so it almost lifts the eye before I put any eyeshadow on. And I always use just a very soft eyeshadow brush to blend it out. So the reason I'm using a Kat Von D eye primer on top of the e.l.f. primer is because this actually has a very similar undertone and color to the eyeshadows that I'm going to be using. So basically I'm kind of starting into all of my first shadows. These eye primers are also gorgeous by themselves, especially if you just want to give the eye a little lift, but you don't want to wear a lot of makeup. Using the 232 brush from Smith Cosmetics, I'm applying my very first eyeshadow. It is the Melt Cosmetics Antique eyeshadow. It's a nice matte, kind of vintage warm peach, and it's gonna start building the tones for my eye. The second eyeshadow I'm using, also with the 232 brush, is the Rust eyeshadow from Melt Cosmetics. I just want this to be very hazy on the outer corners of the eye, and I don't necessarily need this to be perfect and pretty yet because we're going to be doing a lot of cleanup later. I just want to build some depth. Now using a Sigma brush and the Rot eyeshadow from Melt Cosmetics, I am going to really start digging into this bottom liner and getting it to be super thick and super dark. These face wipes are easily my newest obsession, and as you can see, they clean up my shadow really well, and they allow me to kind of create the shape that I want to start getting that end result for the eye. This is one of my favorite steps of the eye makeup because we are starting to lift the brow bone and kind of clean up the shadow. These are the detail pieces that I think people miss that really bring the eyeshadow together and really emphasize your bone structure. It's also going to be what helps kind of frame the brow later as well. You guys know I'm a sucker for the BLVD lashes, and these are the Total Divas. As you can see, they are super fluffy, they're 3D, and they look gorgeous when you put them on. My number one tip is to use tweezers when you're applying your false lashes and to look straight down into a compact mirror. That keeps your skin in its most natural state. So when you're putting the lash on, it's not gonna like pull and tear at the inner and outer corners. And as you can see, I can get really precise in my placement when I use the tweezers. Okay guys, so my favorite part about how this concealer looks on film is that it looks like it's so crazy. It's probably one of the more thin consistencies that I've worked with, but what it feels like is more of a powder texture. So when you put it on the skin, it actually blends out very seamlessly, but on camera, it definitely gives you like a full coverage, which I don't hate, but it's not very heavy in person. It's actually very wearable. The reason I love mixing these two foundations together is because the Lock It foundation is a very full coverage product. I rarely to never use it alone. And I love how satiny and glowy the Juice Beauty foundation is. So one day I thought it would be fun to mix them together, and I was so in love with the finish. And that day I got so many compliments on my skin everywhere I went. So it's been one of my favorite combinations, but this is the first time I've ever featured it in a video. The Jane Iredale pressed powder is one of my favorites. It's satiny and it looks like skin, but it's not super full coverage. And I'm oily, so I like to do one set with my makeup before I move on.